Welcome to Challah Talk, where we get deep into the dough. I'm your host, Joyce, Jerome, and this is your space to rise. Every episode, we braid bread with women who share what fills their cup, fuels their fire, and helps them grow. One honest, heartfelt conversation at a time. So grab your dough or coffee, take a breath, and join me, because here, we don't just talk, we meet it out. Harei zo Challah. Please note that this episode was filmed prior to the second anniversary of October 7th and before the ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas and the final release of our hostages. Some of the content in this episode may reflect that. This episode is dedicated to our great nation, Eretz Yisrael, to the brave soldiers of Tzahal who protect our nation every single day, especially to the 915 soldiers who gave their lives to our country and to the 251 hostages, some of those who have returned home to us and those who now watch over us from Shamayim. We wish blessing and peace to all of their families. Hi guys, welcome to Challah Talk. I'm your host Joyce, Jerome, and today we have a very special guest. We have Zoe Benun.
Hi guys.
Hi Zoe.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming all the way from Deal.
All the way from Israel, from Deal. I'm happy to be here. I'm psyched to braid challah.
I wanted to have you on the show, and simultaneously you messaged me. You're like, I need to come on the show. It was like you kind of read my mind, and I wanted to ask you. And then you, in a very Zoe way, just told me exactly what I wanted, because I think you already knew what I wanted.
I feel like we do have telepathy.
Maybe.
I'm into it, but I also think that Israel is just, it's on the back of our minds all the time, and I didn't even expect to be like this Israel person.
Right. I don't even know that I really don't know that much about you, so I'm hoping today we get to know a lot more about you.
For sure. Right. Happy.
Yeah, today is a very special day because we're going to do your 9-month challah bake, right? I have the dough here for you, and
I'm excited.
You know, yay!
I'm excited that I get to do my 9-month challah bake with you.
It's your first 9-month challah bake.
My first 9-month.
I'm so excited. Beautiful. May you have an easy delivery, healthy mommy, healthy baby,
Thank you.
Healthy family, and only good things for you in this
Thank you for having
month.
me.
Tell me a little bit about yourself.
There's no little bit about myself. This is the problem. I could talk for a long time, but I'll try. I was born in Boca Raton, Florida. I don't look it, but I'm Ashkenaz. You look so much more Ashkenaz than me, even though I think that that's a Syrian misconception, that Syrians are dark. That's more of a Persian thing.
I feel like I'm very dark.
No.
The hair is...
This is dark.
This is...
But your eyes are light, your skin's light. I feel like a lot of Syrians are very light, and
You do look very Syrian.
I look very Syrian,
When
right?
I first met you in Mommy Me, I'm like, this girl's very Syrian. You're like, hi, I'm Zoe, I'm from
Israel.
I'm like, you're from Israel? That's so cool. Like, what?
And then I open my mouth.
Yeah, and you were very friendly, and you knew you didn't, I didn't know if maybe I was supposed to know who you are. And you're like, I don't know you, you don't know me, I'm Zoe.
Well, you come to a community and you don't know anyone, I'm like, I'm going to introduce myself to this is like a funny story about me. I go to Uri's,
right, and
I see somebody that I know, and I see another person that I know, and I want to make sure that they know each other.
Right.
So I'll introduce people, and they'll be like, that's my cousin. What are you interested in?
Everybody's cousin.
I just want everyone to feel because I know what it's like to be the outsider, the new person. And that's it. That's how I navigate the community.
Right.
I'm just like, hi, I'm Zoe. Want to be my friend? Hi.
How did you get this way about you of being so friendly? I feel like if I guess you didn't know the Syrian community, but if I had to enter a new community, I would probably be very shy. Even if I don't look shy, I would.
And a very intimidating community. It is very intimidating.
Even if you're Syrian,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
The answer is that I think everyone is really nice on the inside. I really have not had one bad experience from anyone, not one. And I think that everyone feels that way in their head. They're a little bit self-conscious in their own head, no matter how beautiful they are or what clothes they're wearing. I really feel that way. I feel that everyone kind of has that in their own head, and then if you initiate being friendly to somebody,
Right.
like people are friendly and nice. I think I haven't had not one negative experience, not
Wow.
one.
That's
so,
amazing.
Yeah, that's how
Also, I don't want to cut you off, but like kindness brings kindness and friendliness brings friendliness. So if you're spreading that like good vibe, then people are going to want to vibe with you. So, and I feel that way with you. So
Thank you. I
Love
appreciate it. I also jumped in, we'll get into it, but I came into the community wanting to make friends and like joining the program. I say the program, it's like the tennis, the nails,
well, you
the
moved
eyebrows.
straight from you married your husband who's Syrian, and you moved straight from Israel to Deal.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't want to call out Brooklyn, but I felt much more comfortable moving to Deal.
right.
I thought like people move there and are a little bit more open, and everyone kind of wants to make friends there.
For sure.
Not that I wouldn't feel that way in Brooklyn, but
Right.
I just feel like people have their set friends that they grew up with and their people, and not that anyone would, not want to be friendly to me, but it's just like, I have my friends, I have my people. I feel that in Deal, people are a little bit more open because a lot of them moved there or married somebody who's from Deal and they're not from Deal. So
100%.
yeah, so I felt like that was a good transition.
What do you mean you got on the Syrian program? Like, how do you even do that, and how did you even know what it was? Could you?
Yeah, so I have a friend who is Syrian.
Okay.
It's actually it's funny. It goes back to me being, I guess I was like this before I came into the community, because my parents are pretty much, they're Baal Tshuva. They decided to move to Israel, and if you're interested, I'll tell you that story after. But going back to Joe, I was in high school,
Right.
and in high school when you think about college and SATs in America,
Yeah.
So in Israel,
Right.
when you're in 11th and 12th grade, you start thinking about what unit you want to go into in the Army. Like that's just what it is. Or what you're doing. Like I was in a religious, religious school, so a lot of the girls went to like community service. But I was, thinking, what unit am I going to go into? I have 3 older brothers. You're getting to know, I'm very intense. So I was in 11th and 12th grade, and my brother went into the Navy.
Okay.
And he is 2 years older than me, and he said to me, you should really try out for this unit in the Navy, and it's a scuba diving unit in the Navy. And I was like, you know what? I love the water. I was on swim teams my whole life. I'll try out for it. I said, okay. I wanted to do, if the guys were doing, this is not like a feminist thing. This is just like, I wanted to do something different, and I ended up doing a 3-day tryout for this unit, getting into the unit. This is in 12th grade. So
Like, what was your family's stance on this? Like, your brother said, yeah, go do it, and your mom and dad were like, yeah, sure, like, go live in the water and go fight.
So it's not exactly what it sounds like, where it's like fighting. I didn't have like an underwater gun.
Right, I know, but I'm saying
Yeah, they were
seems-
supportive. They were supportive. First of all, because they know me.
Right.
And they were like, we can't stop her from doing anything. But also because, they decided to move to Israel and make Aliyah when I was 7 years old. They don't have a choice. That's the situation that they put me in.
Yeah, so they know, they
Like-
kind of knew, I guess, what it entailed.
You know what it
bringing
is? Like, I'm moving back to Israel this summer.
Unbelievable. Wow.
And I know, my husband brings it up a lot. Thank you.
Oh my God.
My husband brings it up a lot that we're bringing our kids into that situation. Like I have a son at home, and hopefully my daughter will also serve. And that's something that I'm proud of. And I think it's kind of crazy for some people in the community to think of that. Like, how could you want that?
like, how are you doing that?
But
because that's also a very big part of the mentality. Like, oh, we don't do things that are unsafe. I'll take that from you.
Go for it.
We don't do things that are unsafe, or like you could get hurt, or something may happen on the plane. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just like we kind of, a lot of people live in fear.
But why are
Don't go
we
to
more
Israel.
important than the people living in Israel? Like, why is the community or the greater,
Right.
Americans that ended up here and didn't end up in Israel?
Right.
Why are we more important? Why are our children, why do they get to be immune from what's going on? But when it comes to their bar mitzvah or when it comes to you want to visit whenever you want to visit and you want to stay at this nice hotel, then you could show up whenever you want, right? Because Israel's always there for you. But somebody's on the front lines.
Someone's holding down the fort.
Yeah, and it's somebody else's kids.
You feel like your family held down the fort.
I feel like we all Jews need to be doing something. Not everybody needs to make Aliyah. Not everybody needs to go to the army. That's, but everybody needs to be thinking about Israel, and Israel needs to be on their minds at all times, because it's not, we say in Hebrew, muvan me'elav, like it's not just going to be there for us all the time. Like we don't have the luxury as Jews to not be thinking about Israel and be thinking about, our safety. Can you imagine Holocaust survivors are alive in our day? They're literally in our lifetime, they're alive. We were lucky enough to meet these people. That's 6 million. It's not even a number that I could, it's something that I can't even think about. And out of that came Israel, because it was literally something that, was a dream. It's a dream for people to be able to live in Israel. And it's, the most mentioned thing in the Torah. That's what we aspire to go to Israel. I think that we can't just be living in America like, Israel's always going to be there for us. We could go there whenever we want. That's not, we can't live like that as Jews.
Right. Okay, I have a question for you, because I don't have any ties to Israel, other than, I take that back.
That's not true.
The only thing I really knew about Israel growing up was what I learned in school, and of course it's tied to my religion. I was there in the past 10 years for 24 hours, and I was sick, so I stayed in a hotel room. I am dying to go this year, because I feel like...
Should we go together?
I would love to. I actually asked my husband to take me for my 10-year anniversary.
Okay, that sounds more fun.
And I'm very excited. I hope we go, because I really want to go. But like you're saying, we all have a responsibility for Israel. And you certainly, as an individual, fulfilled that responsibility at such a young age by being in the IDF.
Okay.
You may have more. You may feel like you have more responsibility.
Yes.
But at the bare minimum for Zoe, you were in the army. So you literally did your dues for on paper. So now for the typical Syrian girl,
is the question,
like me, who's sitting in her kitchen making challah, where
I love that question.
What do you want me to do? I did come to the APAC event this summer.
You did.
I listened to the talk, and I left and I said, wow, this is so nice. I'm so inspired, but I haven't done one single thing other than open up a prayer book and say the prayer for the soldiers and for the state of Israel. What do you want me to do?
Okay. So
Really?
first of all, I love that question.
Okay.
Because
I'm serious.
No,
I don't know what you want me to do.
It's a fantastic question. It's one thing to
And I'm
say,
asking in the nicest way possible. I would love to do something, but...
I love that you're asking that question, because you're one step ahead of the people who don't even ask that question.
No, I think people really want to know, but I think that they're not even, the question doesn't even come up, because they're okay, well, I'm here and they're there.
So the second thing I wanted to say is that I feel so lucky that I was put in this position, that I actually feel like I could help people and that I could do something. And I think that not everybody gets to be in that position.
Definitely
I really do feel that way.
Definitely not. I'm standing here today telling you that I have not the slightest clue.
The third thing I will say is that there's many things that we could do, many. And I'll start with very, 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 very simple ones, okay? Easy.
Bare minimum.
Bare minimum. And I wasn't going to make this political, but this is very important.
Okay.
And it really has not much to do with Israel, even though it would if, God forbid, he wins and whatever. But everybody should be out there registering to vote. Okay. It's not even... It's the bare
But that's
bare
for us
minimum.
Here, so what is that doing for Israel?
Why is that doing for Israel? I'll tell you why. Because first of all, this man who's running for mayor, Mamdani, he is...
If it's not very obvious, I'm a very not political person. But I am registered to vote.
But what I want to say is that I am not such a political person either. And I was the Sephardic director at APAC, and I was not, trying to work there because I'm a political person. I genuinely was like, this is what I have to do for the Jewish people.
Okay.
So I wanted, I really am not trying to make this political, but I think that every person in the bare minimum, don't say later, why didn't we do, oh my God, it's so bad, this is our mayor for the next bunch of years. go out and register to vote. And if you're not doing that, then don't say, what am I doing? Because then it's BS. Sorry.
Okay, so step one.
Step one.
Step one for trying to, do your part, your hishtadlut. For Israel and for our entire nation is go out and vote.
Go out and register to vote.
Yeah.
Okay. The second thing that I'll say, which is
actually yours is gorgeous and buttery, and I love it. Okay.
Thank you.
Stunning.
The second thing I will say is
I'm listening.
When there are events going on,
right.
We're so lucky to be part of a community that has stuff like the DSN and the center and the schools and people hosting events. It's so easy to just say, show up. Okay. Show up. You have a soldier coming from Israel who's injured, who's missing a limb, who fought in the army, or a family who's
they really want
hostage.
You to hold them, you're saying, basically.
It's literally I'm saying for other people, just to show up. Just come.
Oh, and listen to the speakers.
And listen.
Okay, just come listen.
Just come listen. Is that a lot to ask?
No, I just don't know.
Tell me, I want to know.
No, it's not a lot to ask. I still don't know how that's me doing my part. I'm not fighting in the army.
For this soldier or for this hostage.
For seeing more people there, it gives them more strength.
You know how many times I heard...
So saying thank you and showing up to listen to their story.
Exactly, and being inspired by them.
And being, but I'm inspired, but feeling a certain way.
And you're inspiring them because they feel, I want to just explain, I've been to Israel a bunch of times since October 7th.
Like, do they really love when people from America come and make them a meal? Like, I don't know. I've never done it. It's something... This is something. Someone take me to Israel and do this because I'll come.
Challah
just take me.
For the soldiers would be a hit. Meet
the soldiers. They love it. You would love it. You're saying like you would have loved it if you saw someone from America come visit your unit.
You know what? It's everything changed since October 7th, and I really think that showing up to Israel now and going. And showing up to events here when Israelis come here to speak, a lot of them come and speak about their organizations. And like people here are getting a little, tired of going to fundraiser after fundraiser after fundraiser. And what I would say is that
when you can't give money, what else could you do?
So I'm gonna push back on that. You can give money. Everyone could give money here, no matter what, because if the people are giving their lives, and we're still thinking about how to keep up with the Joneses here. I'm sorry, I have to say it. It's I like nice things. I like nice things. But when people are dying for us they're literally giving their life and their kids are on the front line and they open up these different organizations to help soldiers with PTSD or to help whatever it may be. And all we have to do is show up somewhere and give $52, $101, $1,000, however much you could give, $100,000 to them. It's showing that American Jews are standing and care. They care for them. They really care for them. You're giving your life in Israel, and we'll take care of you here. You have no idea how much of the establishment of the state of Israel was also connected to American Jews, and how much money and how there wouldn't be the state of Israel if it wasn't for the American Jews who had a lot of money here, who were supporting these. It's super, super, super important. And if you have enough money, no matter how it is, even if it's your own business as a woman, and the women are unbelievable in this community, go and support and give whatever you can, because whatever, it's much more important than another bag or another, shoe that's another brand that nobody cares. You think that you care, but you're really the only one that cares. I sometimes am like, what boot am I going to get for the winter? Nobody cares about the boot that I'm wearing. Like,
wait, I want to add something. So I think that, I just want to add on the topic that you were saying, that just like, it's a big thing, we talk about gratitude and just like being grateful for the people that are there. I probably won't make Aliyah anytime soon. But like, I could be incredibly grateful and supportive of you for making that decision. I'm going to the event. I'm giving a little bit of money now. Well, like, what else could I do? What else can I do?
Well, not everyone could start, and what is there to?
I don't know.
Listen, you're very, very, very creative. You started this Challah talk. It's true. You're very, very, very creative. If people were to just say, you know what, I'm going to spend a minute of my day to think how I could be creative in trying to help do my part with what's going on in Israel. There's so much that people could do, but the truth is if you're not on the ground in Israel, and if you have, it does come down to money. Like all these organizations who come and they ask for help, and they, it does come down to money. Like they're coming here to fundraise. They are. Right. They're coming to the States to fundraise because there are soldiers who are dealing with PTSD and they need to, have therapy. And there's, I know many families who are dealing, I grew up with 4 kids from my neighborhood that I knew well were killed during this war. And like,
I'm so sorry.
These are families that need to deal with this now. I also know a few, I actually just set up, I'm like very proud of this. I just set up 2 amputees who are missing limbs. They're getting married.
Wow.
And
oh my God.
That's like part of another organization. They come, they need to raise money to have the correct limb so they're not like spending the rest of their life without a leg. So it does come down to money if you can. If you can't, showing up is huge. Like it really is so huge. There are so many people in Israel who have said to me, I can't believe people in America care. And I'm like, are you kidding? Jews in America don't care. I mean,
we do care.
We care so much, and they see that when they come here and people show up. So to me, that is huge.
You have such a crazy story that I want to get it all. Like I could feel in your heart that you really have a huge love for Israel and a major passion. Hence your reason for moving back. Like where did this stem from?
So my life could have gone a whole nother way. My parents have a really crazy story. They decided when they were 50 years old to pick up and move to Israel. They actually, it's really crazy. They were not religious at all, 0. Wow. They were living in Boca Raton, Florida, like really 0 religion. And I was very little, and my dad, who's a very serious golfer, he loved playing golf on the weekends. And one of the rabbis who got a hold of him said to him, if you're going to go play golf on Shabbat, why don't you stop at shul on your way? Okay. And that kind of drew him in, that approach. And he decided that, okay, I'll go to shul and then I'll go play golf. And nobody was judgmental of that, Right. So and I know the Syrians, like it used to be more like that in the past, like they would go to work and then
I feel like people are still not so judgmental. I don't know. It depends on who you're hanging out with.
No, I'm saying they used to go to work back in the day.
Of course, there was no option. They had no option.
Right, exactly. So my dad would go play golf, and then he'd go to shul, and he eventually started really liking it. So he started saying, maybe I shouldn't drive on Shabbat. And slowly but surely, he started becoming a little bit more religious and a little bit more religious until now my family's going to take a turn. You're going to think we're crazy, but they decided that they were going to buy an RV and park it in the parking lot of the shul so they wouldn't need to drive because my house wasn't so close to the shul.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. And the community in Boca Raton, Florida were like, oh, my God, like these people, let's invite them for a meal here and there. And
more,
they would do that.
A part of the more religious community.
Yeah, they're like, these people want to keep Shabbat. They're sleeping in a...
And you had to sleep in an RV?
I was like 5 and 6 years old, and it was on Shabbat, and we would go, and we loved it. It was like cool, like fun for us. It was like one of those pimp my ride.
And you were getting invited like out for Shabbat meals, like oh my God,
yeah. And
that's not real.
No,
this is not a real story.
Literally, you could post a picture of my parents. It's online. It's like really a crazy story.
Are your parents like hippies?
No, but it's funny because it's like that shows the commitment. Until they ended up buying a house.
All because he liked golf.
All because the rabbi really inspired him and was not judgmental and was like, you know what, if you're going to come, stop by shul on your way.
Oh my God.
So then my parents ended up buying a house that was like a Shabbat house near the shul, but they still had their, home that was farther from the shul. Okay. And then slowly, they were like, let's sell the bigger house that's far away from the shul and move just to this community. So what happened was they said, let's try to sell our house. They put their house on the market, wouldn't sell for a few years.
The faraway house.
The faraway house. Their like dream home that they built. Then they went on a trip to Israel with the shul. And the rabbi said, you know what, you should go to the kotel and you should make a prayer. Ask for something, but you can't just ask for something. It needs to be
like a real
mutual.
thing.
You need to give, and you can't just say, hey, Hashem, help me with this.
Right.
You need to say, it needs to be a commitment that you're going to make.
Okay.
So my dad said, Hashem, if you help me sell my house in Florida, I'll move to Israel for 6 months.
Okay.
I swear. That week, he went back to Florida after
the power of prayer.
Yeah.
Oh
That
my
week,
God.
he went back to the States.
Be careful with what you pray for.
You'll end up in Israel. So he went back to the States.
And how did your mom
sold
feel
his
about
house,
wait, like you
moved
said
to Israel.
Your mom was fine with all of this? Like she loved it? Like how did she feel?
If you ask my parents, you should have my mom on your Challah talk. If you
Okay.
ask my parents, they'll say, they got caught up in life and things, and like they were like, what's the purpose of it all?
They were ready to let go. They were like,
yeah, well, let's look. They wanted a deeper meaning because they had whatever they had, but they didn't have Hashem.
where were your parents from?
They're originally,
Yeah, like,
like
where was
Poland
their-
and Russia.
Oh my gosh, okay.
And then moved to the state. I mean, my great-great-grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's just what, it shows that you need to have purpose in life.
my
So they
God.
had this midlife crisis, ended up moving to Israel. I was in 2nd grade. My
Were
brother
you
was
excited?
in 4th
Like,
grade.
were you like could
I don't really remember it so much,
moving
but
to a whole new like aside from just like okay, you're making Aliyah to Israel, you're leaving. I don't know, like
yeah.
the whole country.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
crazy. But I think I think this is who I've always been, like, ooh, adventure. Like something new, which is
Okay.
what led me to like me being open to moving to the States and why I'm
Right.
here right now. 'Cause
Right.
that's my husband wanted to come back to his community, which is why we're here
Oh
now.
my gosh. And then you have your husband and the community, and now you're making Aliyah. I want to hear everything. But we just finished braiding these gorgeous chalis. They're going to go in the oven, and then we'll talk more in the day.
Okay.
Could you tell me a little bit what it was like moving there and life in Israel as a kid?
Yeah, life in Israel is incredible. Like, I thank my parents so much that they made that decision for me. And that's what I want to give to my kids. And I do, I grew up with a major sense of connection to Israel and also living like a more meaningful life. Everything, you feel connected to everyone. I don't even know how to explain it. People have asked me to explain it before, but like if I got a flat tire or if I fell in the middle of the street, I'm not joking, 5 different people run up to you to help you. Like it's not...
Everybody's family.
Yeah, it's people say like, how can I move from the community here to Israel? But the funny part is that all of Israel is community. Like it's all of the Jewish people in one. Yes, it's not the Syrian community, and there's beyond something special here that I didn't expect to find when I moved here. Mm-hmm. There's really unbelievable things. Like I could go on forever about how amazing this community is, but it's not such a crazy change. It's not like moving to Australia. It's Israel. It's, everyone's Jewish there. So I do feel a major sense of community when I'm in Israel, and purpose. It's very meaningful. I have very good friends. It's not so different than here. A little bit different is like the keeping up with the Joneses. Like people could have tons and tons of money and have no money, and you wouldn't tell the difference because it's just not expected as much there to drive a nice car, to have a crazy house. Yeah, I have friends that I grew up with that, I'm going to call her out now, but my friend and one of my best friends in Israel is her dad owns Zara and Bershka and Pull & Bear and all the affiliated brands as Zara in Israel. She's very, very comfortable family, but you wouldn't know. Like you just don't know. People just don't care there. It's not interesting. It's not.
Do you feel like that made you more confident coming here? Like, hey, I'm not dependent on what I'm wearing, what I look like, what house I live in, to be friends with you. And
it's a good question.
I guess it's obvious.
It's interesting because yes and no. I do think that as much as I seem super confident and I am very confident, I think that it does get to you.
Right.
It does. The caring. So all of a sudden I'm like, know certain brands that I didn't even know growing up. Like they never got to Israel. They never were imported there.
Oh my God.
That's for sure. It does
Right.
get to me.
Right.
I wouldn't say it's a negative. There's a lot of, different things that have come out that are like make me more creative. And I
for
feel like
sure.
that I'm learning about all these different things. And I never felt that anyone's like judgmental.
Right.
One of my first weekends here, I wanted to invite my neighbors for Shabbat meal.
That's so nice.
So I just moved in, and I remember I didn't.
It's like not like the norm.
It's funny if they watch this, but I have a few friends in Lock Arbor that when I moved there, and I just moved onto the block, and I'm like, oh, I want to invite them for Friday night dinner. And funny enough, they're cousins who I ended up having for Friday night dinner, but I didn't know. But anyway, they're sitting at my Shabbat table, and I don't have like the difference of what it would be like today if I were to host them than 3 years ago when I moved here.
Right.
Is like, my setup at my table. Like I could have served on plastic. Like I'm telling you, I don't
You
even
didn't know the difference.
Right.
It wasn't important to you.
Exactly, and that's even forget the food on the table. Can you
Right.
imagine?
Right.
I'm like.
Were you making Ashkenaz food?
I don't even know. Yeah, like I just made. It wasn't to me about the food or what was
Right.
on the table. It was like I wanted to make
You
friends
had-
with my neighbors.
yes. I love hearing that because I feel like sometimes, like, especially for me, I grew up with my family on both sides are spectacular hosts, and
I walked in here. I saw you serving. I'm like, wow. Are you?
it's a mess. No one's putting any pressure on me, but it's like a pressure that I put on myself from what my eye was aware, like what I grew up with. Like my eye was just used to it, so like my eye knows what I expect it to look like, and sometimes it like holds me back because I'm like I don't know if I could get it. I have the kids home, and like it's not going to be the way it is, and like a lot of times I think like in the past 2 years, I'd say like I did host, and I'm like, all right, guys, it's gonna be a shitty one, but everyone's gonna be together and like.
But it never is shitty, right?
No, they've been not so great. Like my brother got engaged, and I wanted my family so much to be together the night that he got engaged, and I'm one of 9, and
What?
I'm one of 9 kids.
Wow.
Yes, but the option was either no one was going to be together or I was going to host the dinner, and everyone came in their pajamas, and like it was the cutest, nicest night ever. It wasn't what I wanted to demonstrate as like the best way I hosted, but I didn't, and I'm so glad that I did. So like for me, that was something I had to work through, but for you kind of got to see it through both lenses, like from living in Israel and seeing all the positive of like just using the plastic. And then we had someone on the show who said, God forbid she would never have plastic in her house. So we get all walks of life here, and no judgment.
But to answer your first question,
there's a time and place for everything.
If I was like that when I first moved here, I do, whether I wanted it to affect me or not, like I do care more now. And now I would double think, should I host or should I not host, because I want to make sure that it is beautiful.
Right.
And that I do put out, because I'm like, can I host this person? Like if I were hosting you, I would be nervous. I want to make sure that I put out a beautiful spread.
Don't be. I love to see everything.
But
the way people do it.
Growing up in Renana, my being, in a community that is super, super Anglo, and having people, move from all over the world to Renana, it's very cozy and homey, and there wasn't one Shabbat that we wouldn't host like yeshiva kids or soldiers or lone soldiers at our home. I mean, my house was like, people were coming in and out. So for that reason, who knows how many people my mom would be hosting. And like, I learned the word shatra when
She's not that shatra?
She's shatra in the sense that I think that she's shatra. She opens her door to the whole world. But it's not like the candlesticks and the plates and the this and the that and the 9 million platters. Like the amount of food, it's it's funny, when I first married my husband, I started an Instagram account called the Ashkenaz Shatra, and all of his friends were following me, and I was like trying to make Syrian dishes.
Oh no, I can't. I love it. Did you learn from Michal?
Michal is not normal. She's Syrian. She's fully Syrian. So I wouldn't even call her out here, because she's...
My 2 non-Syrian people look more Syrian than me. So.
No, but she also walks the walk. I told my husband, he's going to be like, ouch, when he hears this about the Shatra part. But like, I think I'm Shatra in other ways, but it's not he could have married a Syrian if he wanted that exact Shatra. I'm good at other things.
Nah, he wanted a scuba diver. Okay.
I'm good at other things. But I'll have you for a meal.
I want to hear about scuba diving in the Army and how you met your husband.
Okay, so I went, I'll tell you about scuba diving, but I'll tell you about my husband because he's really incredible. Because of the fact that people here, he grew up in a very Zionistic home, but he wasn't pushed to go to the Army in any way.
He went to Flatbush.
I think he also went to Magan. But he decided after college that he was going to enlist in the Army.
Okay. Not just like the regular Army, like.
So he was in a very intense unit. He went there to do a year and a half in the paratroopers unit, San Khanim, but they ended up asking him. Paratroopers, where you jump out of planes.
And then
that's the regular unit.
Okay, paratroopers, they jump out of regular planes, and then what do they do?
So they're I don't think that's their day-to-day basis, but the paratrooper unit is trained on if you need to jump out of a plane and then start combat. But that's like the regular unit. Then he tried out for an elite unit in the paratrooper unit, and they said to him, if you wanted to be in that unit, you need to sign on another year and a half. So he ended up getting into this very difficult unit called Duvdevan, which means cherry. It's the unit that Fauda, the show, is like sort of based off of. Syrian kid.
That's messed up.
A Syrian boy. Okay, so he went to the Army. He went into the unit Duvdevan. And he was considered a lone soldier, which means my parents made Aliyah when I was a kid. I didn't have a choice. I had to go to the Army. Like, it's impressive and everything that I was in a scuba diving unit or whatever it may be. Like, that's cool. But I had to go to the Army.
Right.
If you're a citizen of Israel, you grew up in Israel, you live in Israel, you have to go to the Army.
Right.
So he, on the other hand, who grew up in the community, did not have to go to the Army, did not have to serve one day, let alone 3 years. And he was considered a lone soldier, which means that he doesn't have family in Israel. So he ended up living at a lone soldier home called Bayit Shel Benji, which is like a home named after a soldier named Benji Hillman, which he was a lone soldier and he was killed. Anyway, it's a home that houses soldiers that don't have family in Israel. It's beautiful, and it happens to be in Ra'anana, where I grew up. The home,
wow.
Yeah. So it's very cool because they would give him food on weekends and they would do his laundry and whatever in a lone soldier house with all different soldiers.
Was it like a community type of service thing? Where,
imagine like a boutique hotel,
right? Sort
of, less nice. But they make sure that you're taken care of with meals. They do like community meals and they do your laundry and they give you a room. Anyway, I went out. I was physically in the Army at the time, and he was in the Army at the time, and we were living in the same city, but we didn't know each other, obviously.
Right.
And I went to a bar with my brother and his friends, a small little pub bar in Ra'anana, and he ended up at the same bar.
Okay.
And then we met.
I love that. It's so cute.
I tell everyone we met in the Army because we were both like serving in the Army, but we met at a bar. So that's the truth. But anyway, he was sitting next to me, and he tells me that he's a lone soldier, and I was like, it's like saying Yale. You know what I'm saying? Like it makes you
it's
hotter.
Like the hottest thing ever.
By being a lone soldier. You literally did the extra step. Like you left your family. That's how Zionistic you are. Like to me, that's how you get me.
Right. Okay.
And then
so that was it. From then on, like the ring was on the finger.
Yeah. Well, pretty much. And then after that, he said that he was in that unit, and it was like I was like, okay, this. But he also said to me, I'm from the Syrian community, and I was like, I never heard of the Syrian community in my life. So I didn't understand.
Did he did he try to explain it to you?
Yeah. He told me, which is funny that he told me this like on our first kind of interaction, but he was like, I'm part of the Syrian community in Brooklyn, and I was thinking, why is this guy telling me about his neighbors? Like, why is that important that you bring up to somebody when you first meet them?
Where they live. Like
I feel like I grew up in a community. I'm not going to be talking about my community on my first time that I meet somebody, but he was like, it's so deep rooted.
Yeah.
So anyway, we ended up, long story short, we're together a long time, but still today I am like, driving around Brooklyn or Deal, and I'm like, is this house Jewish? Is this house Syrian? Is this house Syrian? Because it's so crazy when you're not from here.
Yeah.
To
how far does it go?
Yeah, like everyone here is Jewish. Everyone's Syrian. Like it's crazy. I can't even explain to somebody who hasn't been like 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Were you like so surprised by like how, like, I guess not how vast, but like how big like the community, like physically, like the town of Deal, Long Branch, New Jersey was like that was all Jewish?
Yes, and it's crazy how everyone does the same thing. Like everyone has movers, move them to Deal. Everyone has movers, move them back to Brooklyn. Everyone does, it's the same sort of like, it's the program.
Right.
It's the
What's
program.
What's Zoe's Syrian program?
I'll tell you, when I moved here 3 years ago, I have a friend from the community who is living in Israel, who I'm very close with till today. And she said to me, I'll come move to Deal, and I'll tell you where to go, what to do.
Right.
So I showed up, and she goes, this is my nail girl, and this is where you go to do your eyebrows, and this is where you go to do your hair. And
is that what you expected? Like, this is what you're going to get? Like,
she goes, and you need to join. This is the tennis league that you're going to join, and this and that. So I came, and I was like, okay. I joined the tennis league. Shout out to my friends that I made in my tennis league, which is everyone that I made in Deal. And this, and you shop at Uri's, and this is the fish store that you go to. I'm joking, but like this is really what happened.
Exactly what it is, because someone needed to show you where to get your fish from.
I joke with her specifically that she could write like she could sell the program.
I love
like
it.
if you want to get on you need to get on the program, especially for somebody who's not from the community.
100%.
And I did, and I was really like whatever. I really came here to make friends and to like just enjoy myself and to meet the Syrian community. And my husband was like, I just want you to get to know the community. So that's what I did. And then what happened is October 7th happened. So I was kind of on the program for a year, making friends and doing, things that were good for me.
Right.
And then all of a sudden October 7th happened, and everything changed. Everything changed because I was here in the States with my kids, and my friends in Israel were in Israel in bomb shelters. And I was like, what am I going to do? I'm going to continue playing tennis and going to the coffee shop and acting like my friends aren't, in war. And that's when everything completely changed. I've literally changed as a person. Fortunately or unfortunately, but I'm like a lot more, intense, a lot more like.
So I feel like your presence really started to come out in our community around this time. So for good reason. So can you tell me more about like what happened and what you did after October 7th?
So yeah, I would definitely say that. I jumped right into the deep end after October 7th, and this is really where Hashem comes in for me, because I was spending a lot of time saying, what am I doing here in the States? What's my purpose? What's my purpose? And on October 7th, my husband went to shul. We heard about the news in the morning, and he went to shul, and he was, they asked him to say the prayer for the Chayalim at shul, and he did. And by the time he came home, I came up with an idea. I said, you know what? How lucky are we that we're part of the Syrian community that is the biggest wholesalers in the world? Like literally the top sellers on Amazon and Walmart and Target. We have access to all of these goods. Yeah. My friends in Israel were asking for equipment. I said, we have to make some sort of like shidduch here. I really feel that like Hashem put me in this position. Maybe I married my husband to be in this position right then, because the amount of good that came out from that, it was actually crazy. First of all, there were 15 people in the community who had their full-time jobs, who decided we're going to work full-time on getting as many donated equipment as we could get in the community, and we're making phone calls and facilitating this whole process from A to Z. There's, I could call so many people out in the community, but some very, very chashuv, nice man in the community said, take my warehouse and all my workers, and you could get as many things donated, packed in it's his full running warehouse where he sells bathing suits. and he said, take my warehouse and take my workers. And another,
because that's what you needed, like also not only the stuff, like you needed the manpower to pack it all up.
So it's funny because in this time, actually, I had people in the community who are like, I mean, like the literal, do we call people out or not on the show? I won't.
If you
I
want
won't
to, then you can. Doesn't matter.
It's just funny
they don't
because
wanna be, then
I
you
would
could
say
edit
like
them
the
out.
top leaders in the Syrian community calling my phone,
Right.
and I'm looking at my phone and I go, Joe, I never heard of that. You know, like, but what was funny is that
Just
my
goes to
husband
show
goes,
how much everyone cared, really.
yeah, but my husband goes, have you never heard of these people? Because you're not from the community, and they're calling you, and you're saying
my
to me,
God.
like I'm saying to my husband, answer this, because I don't know who this. Now today, I'm like,
Right.
you know, infatuated by these people
Right.
because they're. I can't tell you how much chesed I've been involved in that they have been heading.
Wow.
Like, yeah, but to go back to the community, we sent. With these incredible volunteers who are friends of mine until today, who I didn't know before. We sent over 45 planes full of equipment to Israel and 60 shipping containers.
So when
all
I heard that
donated
all
goods.
all of those planes were going, it was you were the one on the phone making those things happen.
Me and a team of people from the community were heading that. There's a lot of very funny things. Like you mentioned a movie. Like
What would be in the movie?
one time we had a call from this guy from outside of the community, and he said, we heard that you're able to get equipment in and we can't get equipment in. Like pretty much telling me that they're the Mossad and that he can't tell me who they are and that we need to meet at the corner in Manhattan, this one corner.
Okay.
And me and Joe
Did you meet
are,
him?
Yeah.
Was he Mossad?
They were like underground Israelis working out of like a bank, I swear.
Oh my
working
God.
out of a bank in Manhattan.
And they
they were
met you
trying to figure...
and your husband.
Me and my husband.
Okay. They had to have you like vetted, like they probably like had background check, like
They
knew
were
you
high up,
scuba?
definitely in the military.
Did
but
they know you were scuba?
They couldn't know, but they couldn't get equipment in, and we
Oh
were.
my God.
At one point...
That's very Syrian of us. That's very Syrian of you.
Very, very. At one point, we had the head of Meches, which is customs in Israel,
Okay.
tell us that we were sending the most amount of equipment into Israel by
Good.
far.
Good.
Now, no, everything was donated. Everything.
I think my dad donated a lot of stuff. He makes like the glow in the dark lights.
Yeah,
and the
I'm sure. I'm
flashlights,
sure he did.
All that like military equipment, the glasses that have the phone connected to them. It's obviously it was those planes, so like it all makes so much sense.
No, we had calls. Hey, I make undershirts. I make underwear. You
Wow.
know, I make G-Shock watches.
What do you need?
I want to donate it to IDF soldiers. I want to, and we were. I swear to you, you're not going to believe this one. We had
Right.
Omer Adam on the call. Omer Adam saying, "How do you guys get equipment in and we can't?"
Wow.
I swear. I was like,
Did you
Omer
get tickets
Adam?
to the concert?
No, I should have. I need to be more aggressive. But no, but like we were genuinely sending the most amount of equipment and all donated goods from the Syrian community. And like that was something that no other community could have done. No other community could have done that. Like we have access, really. And it was incredible. And that was amazing. And we did that for almost a year. And then, yeah. And then from that, I just became like the Israel person, which was never my intention. I wanted to do furniture before this.
Okay.
Like I just wanted to do something that I liked doing.
Right.
But
Do you like doing this now? Like, do you think you
I
like
like
this more
doing
than
this
furniture?
because we're still in it. I
Right.
feel
Oh,
like
for
this is where I
sure.
need to be. How about this? My best friend in the world, my best friend in the world, she didn't have the easiest time getting pregnant. She got pregnant, and her husband was called to reserves. She already had her baby. Now she's pregnant with her second, and he's still in reserves. Do you like to put everything into context? It's like that's crazy. Like her husband has not been around so much for her first kid, and now she's pregnant with her second kid, and he's still being called up for reserves. Like that's
crazy.
And that's not like a unique story. That's like
That's everybody.
That's
Everyone's
a lot
on-
of people.
On call.
Imagine being home and your kid's at school and there's a siren and you're like, I hope the teachers were able to take them into the bomb shelter in time. Like that's what I'm constantly thinking about because those are what my friends are going through. So it's hard to sort of like separate that and be like, ooh, how shatra can I be, and how many, serving plates can I have on the table, because I'm thinking about like that.
Right. Yeah. So like, yeah.
You know what I'm saying, right?
Like if I came from where you came from, like with that heart and that understanding, and you said a couple of times that like you feel like sometimes you're a little bit aggressive and like the response is sometimes different. Like how does that make you feel? Those different responses, like.
I don't want to seem preachy, like, but I feel like that's, people need to wake up and realize like the situation that we're in right now.
Like this is real.
Yeah, like I grew up running to the bomb shelter, with my baby was my son, who's 3.5 now. When he was just born, we ran to the bomb shelter when he was a week old. Like that's the reality that I was like brought up in.
Right. But how do you deal with people's opinions now? Like for someone like me, like how do you deal with these people's opinions? Is it like portrayed in your work now?
Well, I understand that not everyone grew up like me.
Right.
And I also understand that, there's not everyone has to, even my own husband, he's like, he went to the army and he is going to be living in Israel, and he did live in Israel. I can't expect him to have the same exact like love for Israel that I have. He has his own love for Israel, and I respect that, and I know that you have your own love for Israel.
Right.
I just think some people are a little bit naive, and I do think that we need to be a little woken up to what's going on here. I was somebody spat on me on the street on my way to work in Manhattan a few months ago for wearing this. Like, that's not America that you would expect in 2025. So I think we need to wake up a little bit. But yeah, like sometimes ignorance is a little bit bliss, because
for sure,
I wish I was, I didn't have all this all the time in my head.
No.
I wish that I was a little bit more light, which is what I used to be before all of this. So I think I could learn from people in that way. To let go a little bit, be a little bit more chill, like trust in Hashem, and this is the plan.
Keeping the positivity.
Yeah.
I guess like knowing that if you keep doing your work and believing like, hey, shit's not gonna hit the fan, even when bad things happen, like there's always a greater like message there, like, hey, had October 7th not happened, like maybe you wouldn't have gone planning to go back to Israel, which I want to hear about, and like why now. There's so many things, like you maybe, I don't know, like in some crazy sort of way, like we needed to learn more about like ourselves and like how much we could do, like the 45 planes, holy cow, or like how relentless can we be for not giving up on these hostages, or like how much like kavanah do we have in our prayer in Hashem, like all those things. Like maybe it was like in a weird way like Hashem's way to wake us up. I mean, like, not to be like, oh, it's fine, like, but
yeah. So if that's the case,
like
I
tragic,
don't know.
like sometimes we all have to like it's the same thing with the yeast. I'm gonna bring it back to challah for a second. I'm like, the yeast has to drop a little bit for it to rise, and like sometimes we have to fall down before we get back up to get up again. And I mean, this is a big fall, right? But
yeah, I think if that's the case, and we don't know, we never will know. But if that's the case, and if Hashem needed to wake us up, because there were definitely things that we need to be woken up. I don't know if we have been woken up, but if that is the case, then there needs to be something good that comes out of it. And for that to happen, I think we all need to be a little bit changed. I know for me, I'm changed. For the better, for the worse. I'm definitely not the same person that, that I was over 2 years ago.
How did you change? Like, how else did you change other than what we spoke about?
I think
has your mind changed? Like, has your mindset changed? Like, your personality type changed?
I think that I just care about like the Jewish people and Israel and my identity so much more today than I ever did. I have cousins, from my parents' side, who I told you, like, we grew up not religious, 0 religion, and decided, whoa, like, I can't live like that anymore. Like, they didn't find religion, but they realized how important, being a Jew is, and not being like a hiding Jew. It's super important to know who you are and where you came from, and the importance of, having a state that's our own, and community, and believing in Hashem, like all these things. I think if this was part of the plan, then we all need to be a little bit different and to be like a little bit better than we were before all this happened, right? Because then what was the point of all of it? Why am I going to Israel? The whole point of coming here was always a temporary thing. It's not really aliyah because
your husband is making aliyah.
He made aliyah years ago.
What do you mean he made aliyah?
He made aliyah when he.
So what does it mean to make aliyah?
Aliyah means to get citizenship. You're going to get your passport and you're going to move.
It doesn't mean you actually physically live there.
In most cases it does mean that you make aliyah, you usually move there. I know people who want citizenship in Israel and they make aliyah, but they don't live there. But I kind of feel like we're living in this time where, think about all the thousands and thousands of years where we didn't have the state of Israel. Or throughout the Torah, we're always like aspiring to try to get to Israel, and we're always trying to get to Israel. We never had the state of Israel up until now. Like us right now, I think it's crazy that we're living in a time right now. We're literally living in this short period in time where we have the state of Israel. It's only 77 years where we actually have the state of Israel. Our grandparents, our great-grandparents before them and before them and before them, they didn't have the state of Israel. It was always like a dream to get to the state of Israel. We're living in this tiny short time where we actually have the state of Israel. And not only that, all of our neighbors don't want us to have the state of Israel. The West doesn't want us to have the state of Israel. Nobody wants us to have the state of Israel, but we have it. So it's kind of like a nuts time that we're living in. So to me, I'm like, how in the world can I not live there? Like that's what my ancestors, like that's what everybody, they dreamt about. Like this was their dreams. They didn't dream about a Chanel bag. They didn't. They dreamt about living in Israel. So to me, I'm like, how can I not? How can I not? And not only that, how lucky are we that we're living in a time where you could hop on a plane and come to Deal, New Jersey in the summers? Like if I'm planning on being in Israel during the year, I'm going to come here in the summers. Who gets to have that kind of life where I could give my kids both, the community and Israel?
They're going to be so lucky. They're going to have the best life.
Thank you.
You're going to give them a little bit of everything. And
I hope so.
I can't wait to meet them when they're older and see what comes of them.
Thank you. And we're always going to be there for all the trips and everybody who comes from the community and anybody who goes.
Have me for Shabbat.
Will you eat on plastic? I'm kidding.
I feel like it was just crazy timing with when we organized this whole day for us for you to be on the show, because we were kind of both thinking the same thing, and I don't know, it was I really wanted you to come on from when I went to that APAC event that you were running, and I didn't ask you at the time, and another month later, we got to talking, and the first thing we blurted out was you're coming on the show, and you were so down, and the timing was just amazing because we literally had to do it this week. It's our anniversary of October 7th. You're in your 9th month. It's crazy time. You're moving to Israel. I don't know if I would have gotten you another time. So it's unbelievable. Your message is crazy.
Thank you for having me. I love that you're spreading people's stories. It's very important. And this is important to me. So thank you for having me.
Thank you for sharing what you feel needs to be shared. And I'm glad to share it with all of you today. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for coming. And that's Challah Talk. This upcoming mayoral election is so crucial to the state of our Jewish presence in New York and in America. It is extremely crucial that every single one of us do our part in voting on November 4th. If you are not registered to vote yet, you can still do so on this link. And please don't forget to show up and put your ballot in. Thanks for spending time with me on Challah Talk, where we get deep into the dough. I hope today's conversation filled your cup, stirred something meaningful, and even sparked a little bit of joy. If you loved what you heard, don't forget to follow and share this episode with someone who's ready to rise. Until next time, keep showing up, and remember, I love you.